Welcome to News9 Mediaverse and you are watching On Point. Congress has issued an official statement declining the invite for Pran Pratishtha of the Ayodhya Ram Temple on January 22nd. The Congress has termed it as a BJP RSS event and stated that the inauguration of the incomplete temple is being done for electoral gains. Now the question is this a misstep by the Congress? A cold calculation for the minority vote? Now, the temple is a reality. Can the opposition continue to reject it, say it doesn't exist, we will not go there, it's BJP's function. BJP is in power in both Ayodhya, in Lucknow and in Delhi. So obviously the BJP will be involved in it. And if BJP is involved, the RSS will be involved in it. How can you have government functionaries for an RSS function? That's one. Will the Ram Mandir function, to be more specific? Will the boycott make any difference? If you boycott it, you have an issue with religiosity, an intensely religious country. If you don't, then you might have the chance, people say that you are the B team. Na nigla jaye, na ugla jaye. It's a very problematic situation for the Congress. The invite is for the Congress leaders like Arun and Sonia Gandhi. But the larger issue is Congress weakening itself further and adding to this already strong Modi-led Bharatiya Janata Party by giving this feeling that, the religiosity, the cultural sentiments of people don't matter. Now, I'll take you through some broader issues and I'll play those graphics here. On the right hand side of the screen. Is it the first time that a government is involved in redoing a temple? No, I'll talk about it later. They have declined the Pran Pratishtha invitation. Sonia Gandhi, Arun, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, they have declined the invite. Congress terms it as an RSS BJP event. RSS BJP have made Ayodhya a political project, that's what the Congress has to say. They also say the inauguration of incomplete temple for electoral gains. Now let me tell you, there is nothing called incomplete temple. There is nothing called incomplete temple. Kamal Nath and Baghel, they projected themselves as big Ram Bhakts. Various cultural and religious ceremonies and occasions were organized by Mr. Baghel. Karnataka government tells temples to hold special puja on the January 22nd. 100 Congress workers from UP to visit Ayodhya ahead of Pran Pratishtha. Congress was the one which opens the gate of Ayodhya in 1980s when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister. Who was responsible for Shilanyas? Rajiv Gandhi started his political campaign from Ayodhya in 1990 election. Is Congress stuck between hard secularism and Hindu sentiment? That's the question. Is Congress stuck? Is Ayodhya reflecting the inability of Congress to redefine what it stands for? Rahul Gandhi was once a Janayudhari Pandit. Now, they are saying that Ram is worshipped by millions in our country, religion is a personal matter, but RSS BJP have long made a political project of the temple in Ayodhya. The inauguration of the incomplete temple by the leaders of BJP and RSS has been obviously brought forward for electoral gains while abiding by 2019 Supreme. So if the temple would have been complete, would Congress have joined? One. Or is it because of the fact BJP has got its cake and eating it too? And on this, I'll be joined by Sunita, Arun, consulting editor of Hindustan Times, Ratan Shada, author and political analyst, Anurag Naidu, political analyst. But before I go to all of them, let me play out a couple of political reactions that have come out.
कांग्रेस पार्टी का प्रभु राम विरोधी चेहरा राष्ट्र के सम्मुख प्रस्तुत हो चुका है। यह आश्चर्य की बात नहीं कि सोनिया जी के नेतृत्व में जिस पार्टी ने कोर्ट में दस्तावेज दिया था कि भगवान राम का कोई अस्तित्व नहीं, उस कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेतृत्व ने पुण्य अयोध्या धाम में राम मंदिर में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के आमंत्रण को ठुकराया। सभी राम भक्तों के लिए ये क्षण धर्म की दृष्टि से, आस्था और विश्वास की दृष्टि से एक पुण्य क्षण है। मैं इतना ही कहूंगी कि इंडिया अलायंस ने सोनिया जी के नेतृत्व में, कांग्रेस के नेतृत्व में बार बार सनातन धर्म की उपेक्षा की, अपमानित किया, और अब इंडिया अलायंस के नेताओं द्वारा प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के पुण्य आमंत्रण को ठुकराना उनकी सनातन विरोधी सोच को दर्शाता है।
कांग्रेस का चाल, चरित्र और चेहरा कभी नहीं बदल सकता। ये वही कांग्रेस है जिसने भगवान राम को काल्पनिक बताया था। ये वही कांग्रेस है फिर बाबरी मस्जिद बनाने की बात कही थी। ये वही कांग्रेस है जिसने वकीलों रामलला के केस में हराने के लिए खड़ी कर दी थी। ये वही कांग्रेस है जो बार बार राम के नाम पर आलोचना करती है। ये वही कांग्रेस है जो राम सेतु से लेके अन्य बातों पर भी विरोध ही करती आई है। इसमें कुछ भी नया नहीं है और ये तो होना ही था। कांग्रेस ने कभी अपने सहयोगियों के माध्यम से सनातन धर्म को कुचलने की, तो कभी सनातन धर्म को खत्म करने की बात कही, तो कभी कांग्रेस ने हिंदू आतंकवाद की बात कही। ये कांग्रेस एक नहीं अनेक बार हिंदुओं को नीचा दिखाने की बात, तो कभी भगवान राम को काल्पनिक कहने की बात करती है। मैं इतना ही कहूंगा, आज कांग्रेस ने अगर प्राण प्रतिष्ठा की समारोह की बाइकॉट किया है तो साफ दिखता है कि हिंदुस्तान की जनता भी आने वाले समय में इनका बाइकॉट ही करने वाली है।
Now let me straight away go to Sunita Arun, consulting editor, Hindustan Times. Madam, how do you evaluate the decision of the Congress party to not to attend it, whereby their own ministers in Karnataka are going to organize puja in thousands of temples? You know, when you had senior politicians like Kamal Nath saying that they are Ram Bhakt. So, the decision of Sonia, is it a political misstep or a cold calculation?
I think it's a calculative move because personally speaking, if I have to give my comment, then I think that going by the country's mood, I think Congress should have sent a representative, even if Sonia Gandhi ji and Kharge ji were not in a position to attend it, because everybody is celebrating the consecration of the Ram temple. And it's coming up after a Supreme Court verdict. It's not something which BJP has decided. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of temple, and after that it has been constructed. And if Sonia ji didn't want to go, she could have sent her representative there, and that would have been a better option. But politically, if you look at it, I think they were prepared that once they announced their decision of not attending the ceremony, there will be criticism and very, very wild criticism, which is happening. Second, politically, I personally feel they have nothing to win or lose. They lost Muslim support because of temple only. 1986, 1989 and 1992, as you have already mentioned, unlocking of the shrine, then Shilanyas and then demolition. Congress was in power at that time. So they already lost, and Muslims have moved forward. Now the temple coming up is not an issue which they are even talking about. So Congress not attending it doesn't mean Muslims are not going to support them because they're not attending it. Hindus as such have consolidated in favor of BJP, and if they had played on their turf, they wouldn't have got any Hindu support.
So are you saying, Madam, are you saying that the Congress, after Karnataka and the results in Telangana, have realized that they have only grown at the expense of the regional parties? The core Hindutva vote has not gone back to them, even if they have won the state.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying today when we are talking about the elections were held earlier. They are not happening now. We'll see what happens in 2024. So to jump to any conclusion, I think today, it's too early. You never know what they have up their sleeves. Maybe they plan a visit to the temple later. And today we are talking about this, and tomorrow, Samajwadi Party has said that they have not got an invitation, but they will go to the temple. Other parties are also saying that they are also going to visit. So going by the country mood, everybody will be visiting, and of course, otherwise also,
Okay. Okay.
people do visit
Okay,
Ram
you stay with
temple.
me. You
But-
stay with me. Yeah, okay, point taken. You stay with me. Let me go across to Mr. Sharda. There's a saying, sir, in Hindi, Mr. Sharda, that na nigla jaye, na उगला जाए. मोटी बात.
देखिए निगलना तो आसान था, उगलना बहुत मुश्किल है, and they have gone in a very wrong direction. There was a very famous quote by Advani ji in the earlier phase when the Ram Janmabhoomi was at the top, called Lemming syndrome, where some rodents keep on following each other and finally, even if they're to sink, they go to sink themselves. The Congress is out to, like a lemming, follows these regional parties and sync with them, is welcome to them. So as a Hindu, I'm disappointed that Congress lost a wonderful chance to be there in the Puja Pratishthan, Pran Pratishthan. Imagine cameras going to Modi ji, then again going to Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and all these people. The effect, and now the empty chairs. And if you recall, see, this religious story is all bunkum, because if you see how many 26 January and 5th August functions Rahul has attended, yeah, I think more than 50% times he has been absent. It's that burn in the heart that why Modi ji should lead any of these things is actually at the bottom of this entire jealousy. Now coming to the secular issues, as a
Mr.
political
Sharda,
party,
is it
BJP
because
will be
certain,
smirking.
Mr. Sharda, is it because certain DNA has changed in the Congress party? If I'm not wrong, after independence, Madan Mohan
Honestly,
Malviya, Sardar Vallabh
I
Bhai
think-
Patel, Dr.
I think-
Rajendra
yeah.
Babu, who was the president, सोमनाथ का जीर्णोद्धार तो उन्होंने कराया था. There was
there
a
are
fight
two
with
phases
Nehru,
to
but
it.
they got it done.
Yeah. See, there are two phases to it. One is when Nehru threw out all these so-called communal but actually nationalist traditional congressmen from, like, all the names you have taken. And then Indira ji brought all these communist gangs by creation of JNU, who were given, who were outsourced the intellectual work of Congress. Now the phase is that Rajiv Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi's, all the advisors come from JNU school of thought. So they have changed the entire complex of Congress. Traditional Congress was not anti-Hindu, despite Rajiv Gandhi earlier opposing then supporting Congress, temple movement in different ways, and despite starting his campaign from Ayodhya, all these things happened in Congress only. Even Indira ji was not that anti-RSS or anti-Hindu. She had a typical, very subtle way of passing this minority test. But these people are so blatantly anti-Hindu, anti-Ram. I do not understand what is actually hurting them. This latest JNU Advisory Council that Rahul Gandhi has covered himself with, because he's not none of his own in thinking mind. That is his biggest problem. If you talk to any Congress, traditional Congress, even young leaders, they will say, sir, he doesn't listen to me. They will say that why these people are, surrounding him and not allowing him to take an independent decision. Now imagine when they had a wonderful chance and to follow Samajwadi Party and all these people and creating Ram Mandir Temple's movement was led by RSS BHP. BJP paid a very heavy price for that. So for them to be at the forefront was natural, but for these people to keep hating RSS like Nehru did in 1948, which Indira ji didn't do, Rajiv Gandhi didn't do, that stand of very old classical leftist stance is not going to pay any dividend. I think the traditional loyalist Congress voters would be very disappointed, because they desperately hoped that Congress will shed its purely anti-Hindu, anti-Ram, anti-Sanatan stance, and that voter will be what will hurt Congress. They might have won in Karnataka and Telangana because of Muslim votes, and they might be believing that they will come to them. But I think this kind of stance will lose more Hindu votes than getting Muslim votes.
Okay, so you stay with me. Anurag, you also please stay with me. It's time for a short break and I'll come back, because the question which I'm going to frame is it an RSS BJP event or is it something bigger than that?
Ram's Ayodhya rebuilt. Ram Lala's Pran Pratishtha. Countdown to January 22nd. Dateline Ayodhya. Catch the mega coverage only on News9 Live.
Okay, so we are discussing why has Congress boycotted the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. Before I go to Anurag Naidu, political analyst, let me play out the bite of Mahant Raju Das.
बड़े दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि अभी मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे ने और सोनिया गांधी जी और जिस प्रकार से राम जन्मभूमि का निमंत्रण को उन्होंने ठुकराया है, दुर्भाग्य की बात है। हम लोग शुरू से ही कह रहे थे कि ये कालनेमी वाले रूप धारण करने वाले कांग्रेसी कभी राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर भव्य दिव्य निर्माण से खुश नहीं है। मेरा सवाल ये है इन लोगों से, क्या ये बीजेपी के इवेंट है क्या? आपने सीधे तौर पे कह दिया अर्धनिर्मित मंदिर और बीजेपी राजनीति करती है। बीजेपी ने आपको निमंत्रण दिया है क्या? आपको तीर्थ क्षेत्र ने निमंत्रण दिया, राम भक्तों ने निमंत्रण दिया, आपने राम भक्त के निमंत्रण को इस प्रकार से ठुकरा दिया। रहा न कुल कोई रोबन हारा, यश होगा हाल तुम्हारा। मुझको लगता है इस प्रकार की मानसिकता आपकी अच्छी बात नहीं है और विश्वास है आपके ऊपर। क्यों? इसलिए विश्वास है क्योंकि आपने शुरू में ही भगवान राम को काल्पनिक कहा था, तो आप राम मंदिर में कैसे आ सकते हैं? क्योंकि आपको राम जी बुला नहीं सकते, इसलिए आप आ नहीं सकते।
कांग्रेस ने अयोध्या का जो इन्विटेशन था प्रभु राम जी की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा का 22 जनवरी का, उसको ठुकरा दिया है, मना कर दिया है। ठीक है, कांग्रेस की अपनी मर्जी है, लेकिन उन्होंने जो साथ में ये लिखा कि ये बीजेपी का इवेंट है, मुझे लगता है इसकी मैं कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं। ये किसी भी धार्मिक आस्था के खिलाफ है। कांग्रेस को ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए। वो ठीक है, सोनिया जी का या उनके परिवार का प्रभु राम में आस्था ना हो, वो सनातन धर्म में उनकी आस्था ना हो, लेकिन हम लोगों की आस्था अलग अलग धर्मों में हो सकती है। लेकिन हम सबको एक दूसरे के धर्म का सम्मान भी करना चाहिए और दूसरे की खुशी में शामिल भी होना चाहिए। तो इससे हमारी आपस में एक प्यार और सम्मान बढ़ता है एक दूसरे के प्रति। लेकिन कांग्रेस द्वारा ये कहना कि ये बीजेपी का इवेंट है, मुझे लगता है ये उससे भी घटिया किस्म की राजनीति है। इसकी मैं कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं। प्रभु राम जी के इस अयोध्या में जो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होने जा रही है, इससे हम सब लोगों को बधाई देनी चाहिए, एक अच्छा माहौल बनाना चाहिए। एक जो है धार्मिक तौर पर आस्था जिनकी है उनको बधाई भी देनी चाहिए और जिनकी नहीं भी है उनको भी अगर दर्शन करना चाहते हैं नहीं चाहते उनकी मर्जी पे। लेकिन इस तरह से ठुकराना, इस तरह से ये कहना ये राजनीति का उसका हिस्सा बना देना, ये कहना ये पॉलिटिकल इवेंट है, बीजेपी का इवेंट है, इस तरह से प्रभु राम की जो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो रही है उसमें राजनीति लाना, मुझे लगता है कांग्रेस का ये गलत काम है, जिसकी मैं कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं। गांधी परिवार को, खड़गे जी को और कांग्रेस को ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था।
So Anurag, is it a BJP RSS event?
Well, Karthik, I think a lot of people have explained it already. That how can look at the basic logic. It doesn't just add up. I mean, how can it be called as a BJP RSS event? Because you have a committee, and people who are saying that it is a BJP RSS event should also bring in one single evidence where RSS or BJP from their account have funded for this event or funded for this temple or funded for anything like that. So when the party or RSS has nothing to do with it as such. So I really don't understand why this being called as a BJP RSS event. Number one. Number two. Very important that we need to understand is, yes, it was in the manifesto of the BJP. Ram Mandir was the manifesto. It was the topmost agenda for RSS. So be it. I mean, they have been very vocal about it right from the day the party started its journey. So you got to understand, yes, they have no filter in saying, they have no hesitation in accepting the fact that Ram Temple was a top priority for both BJP and RSS. Now, something what I see in all the national media, I've been on few channels before, today, yesterday, day before yesterday, unequivocally, everybody, even today, I'm talking specifically, unequivocally, everybody is condemning the decision of the Congress party. I really don't understand what exactly is going on in the mind of the Congress party, because it is somebody who's advised them to blatantly, openly say no to this event. Because if Mrs. Gandhi or Mr. Kharge, were not interested to attend this event, they would have probably said, they're not well, they're not keeping well, and at this age they cannot travel, or other reasons can be put out which are far more diplomatic. Blatantly saying that no. And what are they saying? They're disclosing their mindset. The mindset is incomplete temple. When you say, Karthikeya, that there is some temple is what, there is no concept, as you very well spoke, there is no concept of complete or incomplete temple. A temple is a temple. And this is not an inauguration of an infrastructure. This is a Prana Pratishtha of Ram Lalla. It is a Prana Pratishtha of our loving God, the Sanatan God, the God who has given us the entire concept of Ram Rajya, the governance, for good. So the mindset say, when they say it is an incomplete temple, that means they see at a temple like an infrastructure, like a
But
building, a piece of architecture, and a symbol of religion. So temple is not a symbol of any religion. And if you say a BJP RSS event, the protocol suggests that the invitation was from the committee, who are nothing but the Rambhaks. North to south, like everybody has donated for this temple, Karthikeya. And also, very interesting one point I want to mention. You know, the Congress is trying to peddle this narrative of North versus South, and they feel that they are the party in power in the whole of South India. They've swept whole of South India after Telangana. I am sitting in Bangalore. Trust me, the streets of Bangalore are buzzing with the idols and the posters of, Prabhu Sri Ram. There are campaigns going, street to street, door to door campaigns by the people who are supporting the Kar Sevaks also. That they are going, and the people are waiting for 22nd January to celebrate this occasion. And when you have this Eureka movement, this euphoria, with that people are looking out for an event, and you, as one of the prominent parties in India, come out and say a decline in invitation, they say, and you say that you're not going for that event, blatantly naming that event as a political event. And I think I really don't understand who's advising them, because yes, let's be very honest. I mean, I'm being very individual analyst. I can tell you, Karthikeya, that yes, people of India, they do link Narendra Modi and his image with Ram Temple. They do believe that government of India, under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, has facilitated
Anurag, it also brings me to another question, and I want both Sunita and Mr. Sharda to speak on it. It is the relationship of the Congress party with cultural nationalism and secularism. Madam, don't you feel that the Congress party has not only ceded the space of cultural nationalism, but when it comes to Nehruvian socialism, the chief minister, when they're in power, they become Rambhaks, and when they're out of power, they will take the position of hard secularism?
You see, this debate, we have heard this debate on secularism and communalism in the 1990s. Now I think that's over. You were talking about whose event is it. It's basically trust which has been in the forefront, and the trust also invited the chief minister. And in the entire movement, the VHP and the associated saints were in the forefront again. Yes, some BJP leaders also took active role in it. We all know about Advani ji. And as Anurag said, that the BJP facilitated, that was also there in the manifesto, that the matter should be resolved either by the court or by negotiations, and the BJP can facilitate, or the government can facilitate. Now, where you can see the BJP is involved is that the chief minister with conviction, I'll say with conviction, is developing Ayodhya. As someone said to me, that had Yogi not been there, it wouldn't have happened in such a big way. So he has developed Ayodhya, and that's a good thing, because even the Muslims of the area of Faizabad I've spoken to, they say that we never expected that we'll be living in such a developed city. So if you look at that point of view, that a development has been done by a government, then it's a different thing. Otherwise, it's a trust show. Congress could have said, as Anurag again said, like they've said, it's a matter, religion is a personal matter. Fine. That's fine. It goes well with everybody. Or Sonia is not in a position to attend. I still feel that Congress should have had their presence there. And if not Sonia or Kharge, somebody should have represented them.
But why do you feel, Madam, that the Congress has not been able to articulate its position on the larger issues of culture, secularism, statecraft? You know, the previous convener of the communication cell, Randeep Surjewala, called Rahul Gandhi Janeudari Brahmin. If you recall, after 2014, first thing which Rahul Gandhi did, he went to Kedarnath. From there, he went to Kailash Mansarovar, and in all the campaigns, he was going to temple. And suddenly, when it didn't work in 2019, the gaze was shifted, and he rediscovered hard secularism and Bharat Jodo Yatra.
You see, I think Congress right now is very confused. They really don't know which line to toe right now. And we saw Priyanka and Rahul hopping temples. We had seen other opposition leaders also hopping temples, while knowing that politically they are not going to gain from it. So addressing the issue of secularism, I don't know what exactly you are referring to, but I think Congress right now is in a dilemma. No political issue, no electoral issue is sticking right now. Everybody is talking about temple, and Modi, one has to admit that. And even the welfareism, if they had an issue of poverty at one time, today, because of Modi's welfare schemes, even that is not there. Unemployment, all the issues, they spoke about the caste census that failed in the 3 states that went to the polls in North India. So right now, I think Congress actually doesn't know. They are confused. But Ram Mandir, they knew, and I think they said that they'd be discussing it, whether they should be going or not. And after having discussions, they committed this not political blunder, but I think they went against the sentiments of the country as of now.
I think that's very well put. I am also joined by Mr. Anil K. Verma, political analyst. Thank you so much for joining me. But it's time for a short break. I'll be back after 2 minutes, and then we will talk about is it setting the template for 2019? One, and if this is the template for 2019 for Bharatiya Janata Party, what is the template which Congress is going to set for itself in 2024? Sorry, not 2019.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
It was my 14th birthday.
On birthday, daughter waits
home missing father.
He was carrying a cake for his daughter.
49-year-old Birmingham-based
Indian diplomat vanishes.
He was grabbed and bundled into a car by 4 assailants.
KLA claims responsibility. Demands Kashmiri separatists.
Makbul Bhatt's release.
Goli maro. Or bang.
And within 3 days, they shot him dead.
Abducted diplomat.
Found murdered in Leicestershire.
I said, who ordered to kill him? To me, he said, I ordered it.
And he never came home.
Stop searching. Start streaming. Download the world's first news OTT, News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Yes, the scale of the attack surprised us.
When you get a series of alerts, 16 intelligence alerts, if Maharashtra government at that time had alerted the Coast Guard and the Navy, this 2611 would not have happened at all.
And one of the details they had planned was to use these dhagas to mislead the investigative agencies.
All this was to be presented as a Hindu terror. So it was a Pakistan operation. The LET was the front end.
As the attacks were on, it was clear that they were planned and launched from Pakistani territory.
For all of those victims of terror that was exported from Pakistan over the years, including but not limited to 2611.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
So we were talking about why Congress party decided not to attend the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. I am also joined by Mr. Anil K. Verma. Mr. Verma, is it also because of the fact that, you know, people who are making decisions within the Congress party are primarily from the south, not taking into account that sentiments change, you know? Tamil Nadu has a different sentiment, you know, Kerala has a different sentiment. The politics of north and west is different. Aren't they accounting for it?
Well, Kartika, I think it's nothing to do with north-south, and because you already noticed that a lot of enthusiasm is there from the south, and the south temples and the south people are sending a lot of gifts to Ayodhya. It's absolutely a kind of a misplaced, logic when they say that this is the real intent of not attending. This is the show is actually a BJP RSS show. I mean, this is really not convincing, because Ram temple is not just a religious affair. It's a cultural thing. And if you remember, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, who was a socialist, he used to organize a lot of Ramayan melas, etc. So, and if you look at the constitution, original copy of the constitution, you find that Lord Ram and depictions from Mahabharata and Ramayana and Gita are, writ large over there in the original edition of the constitution. So, Lord Ram and the epics, they are not our religion. They are our dharma. They are our cultural, icons. And therefore, when you are, having a very long-awaited event in Ayodhya, I think it's politically going to be counterproductive for the Congress and the opposition party to stay away from this mega event. That is one. The second is that I think that the India alliance has probably miscalculated and itself trying to polarize the whole thing, BJP and RSS. It's not a BJP and RSS thing. It is a national celebration, and they have missed the bus. I must say that
they have missed the bus. Anurag, Ram Manohar Lohia has been quoted. Ram Manohar Lohia, many other socialists also understood the impact which religion had. Even those who came from the socialist thought. Even Indira Gandhi understood the impact which religion has in Indian society. Do you think that the Congress party today is slightly overlooking that aspect, that every culture, every society has its own flavor? The French flavor, the politics in Germany or the Anglo-Saxon democracies. I think Indian democracy has its unique flavor, and the unique flavor is that it's not about religiosity. Religion and culture are part of one thing and interconnected.
Well, I think it's a wonderful question, Karthik. I think that takes us back to, discussing the philosophy based on which the Congress party is making the decisions. The socialism of Lohia ji, or the whole concept of socialism. I really feel, Karthik, that the new battery of advisors that the Congress have, and I'm not speaking all for BJP or for one side or right side or left side, but I'll be very honest in candid in telling that they lack maturity, Karthik. And this last 8 or 9 years, it's clearly proven that they are losing maturity by every passing day. Because if you had leaders like, Mr. Ahmed Patel or Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, these are the kind of people who would have advised them in a very politically correct way. Even if you have to practice socialism, there are rules, there are things that you cannot strike off in a country like India, because I won't say, it's just because that we are 85-90% Hindu based, but it is a cultural issue, it's a civilization issue. And every temple, whether it is Ujjain, Kashi, or, any temple corridor that this government has developed, Congress has always been telling, आपने मंदिर बनाया, यहाँ मंदिर नहीं बनाया कार्तिक, यहाँ पे एक पूरा कॉरिडोर बनाया. अगर आप आज उज्जैन जाएंगे, आज आप अगर if you go to Kashi, it is so beautifully done. I mean, I cannot imagine Kashi looking the way it's looking today, and the people, they have really upgraded. I really feel sorry why I'm not invested in Ayodhya. Karthike, all my friends have invested. They're making tons of money. They've set up really nice businesses. Some people are building hotels. The real estate is all-time high in Ayodhya, and the people of UP are benefiting. People who were deprived of Noidas and Gurgaons, being very distant from the city, but now they have Ayodhyas where they can do their economic activities. More people getting employment, people getting rich, people then spending more. It helps your economy. A lot of other things are connected, and also let's not forget, it is the emotion of India that is connected, because I think 150 crore Indians are watching an event and you are saying bye-bye to that event. It doesn't really add up. I really don't know what kind of thought process are you coming from. So I need to understand if the Congress really is calculated. Now, you asked a very beautiful question before the break, that is this setting up the tone for 2029? And I think there is nothing wrong. It is, let me be very honest. If the temple inauguration or the Prana Pratishtha, it's not a temple inauguration, I'm sorry. It's a Prana Pratishtha that's happening on 22nd. So if the BJP has decided, and I think it is a political decision, there is nothing wrong, because they have done all the things that you see in Ayodhya today. They want to do it, at the time, which is probably, they would love to have it before the election. They're having it. And if the people of India love to have, see this happen, and they love to, support all these things, I think there is nothing wrong. That means you are against the narrative that the entire India is looking out for. And that's where it makes me believe that your priorities are misplaced. Your vision is absolutely not in the right way.
Okay. Before I go back to my guest, let me play out a couple of political bites that have come on this issue. Once the decision was made public by the office of the Congress president, in which they notified that they are not going to go there, neither their representative will be part of the function.
हिंदू विरोधी, देश विरोधी, हिंदू विरोधी, ये लोग अपीजमेंट, वंशवाद और भ्रष्टाचार करता है। ये वो जो कर रहा है अच्छा कर रहा है। सनातन संस्कृति के ऊपर आक्रमण हो रहा है और तुष्टीकरण, कांग्रेस का तुष्टीकरण और वोट बैंक का पॉलिटिक्स के लिए ये सब काम कर रहा है। इसमें हिंदू लोग को कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा। अच्छा तरीके से राम मंदिर का उद्घाटन होगा। पूरा देश में उत्सव का माहौल अभी से ही बन गया।
The Congress party officially stating that its senior leaders will not be there in Ayodhya on the 22nd of January should come as no surprise, because the Congress party over the last few decades really took no steps to see that there should be a temple at Ayodhya. In fact, the Congress UPA government filed an affidavit before the Honorable Supreme Court to deny the existence of Lord Ram. They stood in court and never wanted an early hearing of the issue. Now that a temple has come up there, the very fact that they are saying they won't be there, it is part of what they've always believed, that they didn't want a temple there. And saying that this is an event of the BJP or the Congress or the RSS, this is an excuse. Because in reality, this does not fit with the Congress party's own thinking. Otherwise, they would have been there out of affection for Lord Ram and would have been at Ayodhya and shared the excitement of millions of Indians all across the world and in India.
ये सत्य नहीं है कि कांग्रेस ने वहां भगवान राम का मंदिर न बने इसके लिए बड़े बड़े वकील खड़े किए। उन्होंने राम जी को काल्पनिक कहा, राम सेतु को नकार दिया। तो आज अगर वो राम जी का मंदिर का दर्शन करने नहीं जाएंगे, इस कार्यक्रम में नहीं उपस्थित होंगे, तो पहले से उनका यही सोच था, आज भी सोच दिखा है और मुझे नहीं लगता उनकी सोच बदलने वाली है। लेकिन देश के लोगों ने यह स्पष्ट संदेश दिया है और जैसे अपने मन में राम जी को बसाए हुए हैं, वैसे ही अब उनके बगल में मोदी जी को भी बसा रहे हैं, क्योंकि मोदी जी ने तो किसी से भेदभाव नहीं किया। और मोदी जी को किसने बुलाया? न्यास ने बुलाया, श्री राम जन्मभूमि न्यास, जिनको माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अधिकार दिया, आप भव्य मंदिर बनाइए।
Mr. Verma, do you feel that the Congress, by not going, is trying to create a space for itself when it comes to Muslims voting for them at a national level? The vote which got fragmented after 1990 never came to them, except 2009 when Mulayam Singh admitted Kalyan Singh into their own party in lock, stock and barrel. I think 22 MPs were elected on Congress ticket to Lok Sabha. Mr. Verma, this question was for you. Mr. Verma, am I audible to you, sir?
To whom you are addressing this question?
Yes, this question is for you. Do you think that they are targeting the minority vote, Muslims vote? They feel that if they can take a principled position here and say that there is a difference between state and religious activity, they will be at least able to get a larger part of the minority vote, because Hindutva vote is not going to come to them. Even during the Karnataka election, they actually ate into JDS. And if you look at the Telangana election, there was no confrontation with the Hindutva vote. They ate into the vote of the BRS.
That's true. I sometimes really wonder about the thinking of the Congress party, that why they think so. Why can't a party be inclusive? It's no problem to target a particular section of the society, be it Muslims or be it anybody in the society. That is fine. But can't you be inclusive by deciding to opt out of this, great event, a historic event, I should say, on 22nd? The Congress has, done something which I would say politically a wrong decision, and probably they would later repent it, because when you go to the event, and suppose they had not been invited, just a hypothetical chance, suppose they had not been invited, then what would have been the narrative in the country? That Modi is definitely trying to keep the opposition out to take political advantage. Now, once everybody has been invited, to say that I will not go on one or the other pretext is against the tradition and culture of Indian, protocol and etiquette. That is one thing. And the second is that on very petty iftar parties and other things, these leaders, they don't have any hesitation to go, and that is fine. If they go, there is no problem in that. So on a small iftar parties, you think that going over there is fine. But in such a mega thing, which is a national celebration and global celebration, probably the whole globe is watching this event, and there you are creating, lot of, not untenable pretexts. On this pretext, it is BJP event or RSS event. It will not cut ties with the people, and probably people will not accept this kind of an argument.
Okay, this question is for both of you. First to you, and then to Sunita, Arun. Do you feel that the new cultural nationalism has actually displaced Nehruvian socialism or Nehruvian secularism as a mainstream in Indian society? People have taken that call.
When you say this thing, I really feel amused.
From the center. From the center.
Yes. Because you see, we have forgotten the real meaning of socialism. I told you that secularism is a particular concept which does not, prohibit you from indulging into religious practices or, the cultural moorings. And Lohia is one great example of this, that he was a socialist by, ideology and tradition and everything in his art, but he was organizing mega Ramayana Melas, etc. And he thought that there is no, incongruity in the two. So when you talk of cultural nationalism, what is cultural nationalism? India is a society which is civilizationally very old, and we have a tradition of culture and civilization. And every Indian, including the Muslim, I would say that these opposition parties, they are creating not only problems for themselves, but they are creating problems for the groups on which they are actually targeting for 2019 or 2024, that is the Muslims. A lot of Muslims are, participating in this mega event. They are very happy about it. They are participating. They are giving a lot of inputs in this entire process. So why segregate Muslims? Muslims cannot be identified with this opposition bloc. The Muslims are very much part of the cultural heritage of the country, and they are very much,
you spoke about Ram Manohar Lohia. It really distracted me. I have to read this quote of Ram Manohar Lohia to you. वो कहते थे कि भारत माता हमें शिव का मस्तिष्क दो, कृष्ण का हृदय दो, राम का कर्म और वचन दो, हमें असीम मस्तिष्क और उन्मुक्त हृदय के साथ साथ जीवन की मर्यादा से रचो. I mean, this is Ram Manohar Lohia on Krishna,
Yes.
Shiv and Ram.
So he was the real socialist who would understand not only the ideological part of his, game, but also the cultural part of the Indian society. And he never thought that there is an incongruity and they are dissected, they are dichotomized. He tried to amalgamate it and fought it, lifelong, that Indian society should not be seen as a Western secularism from the lens of Western secularism, where secularism is a term which gives you a right to worship in a particular manner. That is panth in our, in our Indian lexicon. And therefore, you will see that the Hindi translation of the word secularism is not dharm nirpeksh in the constitution, it is panth nirpeksh. So we use the term very liberally, dharm nirpeksh, but you cannot be nirpeksh with the dharm, because dharm says, dhriti kshama damo astem shaucham indriya nigraha dhi vidya satyam akrodha dashkam dharm lakshanam. So these are the 10, important cardinal principles of dharm, and you cannot dissociate from those cardinal values. Therefore, you cannot be dharm nirpeksh. You can be panth nirpeksh, of course, and Lohia was that. And Lohia very well respected dharma also. Lohia very well respected his ideology also.
Madam, it also represents some sort of an intellectual bankruptcy, engaging with finer aspects of your own cultural traditions.
I won't use such big words as you were asking. Few things I wanted to make a point. One, if they say they're not going to attend it because it's a BJP event, yes, it's a BJP event. What's so wrong about it? Trust was assigned to build a temple. They built it. They invited the Prime Minister, and he's going to do the consecration ceremony. BJP had promised to help in the building of the temple. Congress had at that time opposed it. So it's a very clear the two parties were on two different sides of the pole. Second, secularism, if we mean that of being pro-Muslim, then the days of iftar parties are over. If that is what you are referring to, I think even BJP calls itself a secular party. Other thing that you raised was 2024 template. Let's be clear that what was the percentage of votes that the BJP polled? Maybe it will go up by another 10%. About 30 to 40% votes are still there. And I think Congress may be preparing its template, keeping those votes in mind. Whether they lose elections, they are going to. But to say that they have not thought about it, yes, it is a mistake perhaps they have done. There was a better way to handle it.
Rephrase my question, madam. Let me rephrase my question. What's your assessment as to why they took this decision? Okay, let me put it this way. I mean, if someone has taken a decision, we will give them a modicum of rationality. What is your assessment as to why they took this decision?
How can I tell you why they took this decision? Only because of Muslims? I don't think so. As I said earlier, that Muslims have moved away from temple issue. Today, the temple coming up, a lot of Muslims are celebrating, a lot of Muslims are cautious. So there are two ways to look at it. It was only that? I don't think so. I think they did not want to play on BJP's ground because they thought they are not going to get any support, political support because of that. And the Hindu votes are going with BJP. So they decided that they'll maintain a line, and they've done it. As Mr. Verma said, they may regret later. I don't know, maybe. But I can't tell you why they took this decision. But the decision must have been difficult, definitely.
No, obviously, it goes without saying difficult. I use the word.
Maybe disastrous too. Maybe disastrous too.
I use the word, Mr. Verma. I use the word कि this is like na nigla jaye na ugla jaye.
Kartikeya, I agree with Sunita ji that in politics sometimes the decisions are really very tough. But you see, a party which is more than 100 years old is expected to sell a kind of rationality that is sellable. And this kind of rationality which has been depicted may let other parties, the regional parties, they demonstrate their logic, like Samajwadi Party saying something and Mamta saying something. Would Mamta say such a thing on the inauguration of a Durga temple in West Bengal? I don't know. In the same way, would Akhilesh read Dr.
You know, Mr.
Bohaya
Verma,
and
there is no,
understand?
there is no also no consensus. Let me read out something, let me read out something. I just remembered it. This is Arjun Modwadia. Anyone who has covered Congress would know how closely he was associated with late Ahmed Patel. So, this is his tweet. Arjun Modwadia says, भगवान श्री राम आराध्य देव हैं, ये देशवासियों की आस्था और विश्वास का विषय है. कांग्रेस को ऐसे राजनीतिक निर्णय से दूर रहना चाहिए. Who is Arjun Modwadia? To my larger viewers, MLA Porbandar, former president, Indian National Congress Gujarat, ex-leader of opposition Gujarat Legislative Assembly, Indian National Congress media panelist. लीजिए.
Kartika, I am absolutely clear about one thing. You asked a very pointed and very good question. A nation has the right to know what is the logic of this decision. Congress, leave others. I don't care about other parties, but Congress is a big party, a national party, and its logic should not synchronize with the logic of other small players in the country. Congress needs to behave like a national party. And nation is the entire 140, 50, whatever the exact number of people. And of course, if their participation may not have benefited them anyway, because it is, as they said, it's a BJP RSS, show. But the abstention will certainly harm. This is my considered view, that their participation may not have benefited them, but their abstention from that congregation and from the grand, Pratishtha ceremony is certainly going to harm them, because many people will not buy their logic that it is because they are abstaining only because it's a BJP RSS organized, show. The real intent is that for the first time, an allegation would be made on the Congress of having played a polarization politics and looking to side with a particular community, Muslim community, to appease a particular section of the society. Because of this Indic alliance, they are now trying to rope in as much as opposition votes, because they think that probably Muslims are against the Ram temple. But I must assure you that I know many Muslim friends who are very happy at the construction of the Ram temple, and they are greatly, participating and contributing to that grand function on 22nd of January later on.
Or do you think it's a result of the hard left shift which the Congress has witnessed in last 7-8 years? Instead of being doing an umbrella sort of a politics, they are trying to try their hands on politics which have been part of the very leftist tradition, us versus them, agde pichle ki ladai, where the subaltern Hinduism of Bharatiya Janata Party has tried encompassing most of the segments. It's like shoes have shifted.
No, you put it slightly differently, that it has shifted to the left. I would suggest that they have lost an ideological, direction, I would say. The Congress has lost an ideological direction. Earlier, we used to say that Congress is left of the center party. But today, we see so many Congress top leaders, doing many things which you will expect from a rightist leader to be doing. And therefore, there is a confusion in the people's mind, in the psychology of the people, where the party has shifted to the left, or it has also, like a pendulum, sometimes shifting to the right. So the Congress ideology is a pendulum ideology at the moment, having shifted sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right, visiting the temples, wearing the Janeu, doing some puja in some temples. What signals they are going? I mean, they are giving to the people. So they are actually confusing to the people ideologically. And unless the Congress creates a solid and definite and directional ideological base for the party, winning or losing, that is a different thing. In democracies, the parties, they come and they go and they lose and they win. That's a game of the democracy. But the ideological, direction has been completely lost by the Congress. Okay. And most of the Congress people, neither the people nor the congressmen nor probably the leadership, they are clear about what the ideology what direction their ideology is taking place. So I would not agree with that there has been a large shift to the left in the Congress.
Okay. I think you wanted to add something to it.
One line I wanted to say, that Congress has always been caught in a dilemma whenever issues like this crop up. 1986, again a dilemma. So they decided to woo Hindus and allowed unlocking. 1989, again a dilemma, 1992, Narasimha Rao kept on sitting over various suggestions, again a dilemma, and 2024, again a dilemma.
Okay.
It's basically they have not been able to take a decision on an issue
I think that's very well
religion
put.
and a temple.
I completely agree. I think it's the inability to take it's an inability to take a decision, I think, is the root issue here. And for this reason, the Congress is ambivalent on Ram Temple. BJP was able to relocate its position after losing 1980 and 1984, though they had Gandhian socialism in their manifesto, but they were able to relocate their politics in the realm of Hindutva. Congress, on the other hand, has not been able to relocate its politics. They want to do hard secularism, but they have not stuck to it. They want to be a soft Hindutva, but they don't stick to it. And this inconsistency has cost the Congress its image. So this is all in On Point. Thank you so much for watching On Point with me.
Pakistani spy agency ISI's sinister plan to target India. Training women to honey trap top civil and military officials. Counter honey trapping ops initiated by India. But gullible victims still